Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Trojanpear's Food Club with your friendly neighborhood mailman, the Trojanpear. And this mask serves as a reminder of what I have to do every day as a mail carrier, and not just the mask, but also the work gloves, because we're having to be safe and deal with this coronavirus. And because of that, we're also social distancing, and we're not getting to go out to our favorite restaurants and things like that. And not just staying at home by choice, but some of them are actually closing right now. We have several businesses and events that have closed, which has affected some things that I could potentially be doing for my food club series. So instead of highlighting things that I could be doing, I'm going to look back at some things that I've done in this series and basically serve as a recommendation that when this is all over and past, that you should go out and try some of these places yourself. At least that's my opinion of it, because I certainly enjoyed it. And the one we're going to take a look at today comes from Columbus Eats Food Tours at columbuseatsfoodtours.com, which is their Bites of Uptown food tour. Now, the Bites of Uptown food tour actually is part of the same group that did the Haunted History Tour for Columbus, as well as the Haunted Springer Tour, both videos of which are right now up at Trojanpear and Friends. They may be on other playlists in the future, but as of right now of this video, you can find them on that playlist. And you're going to see the tour guide of those two events is also the tour guide for this event as well. This is an event that, after going on those other two, was really targeting, but I was kind of worried about, given my special circumstances as far as the foods that I can eat, whether or not it would be accommodating to me, or if it was something that I shouldn't do because it would be too hard to do. Because what you're basically going to be doing at this is go to 4 or 5 different local restaurants in the uptown area, or downtown as many cities would call it, and you would be trying out, sampling some food from their menu to kind of get a taste of what these businesses are like. And not only that, you have a tour guide who's going to walk you around the area, talk about some of the businesses, some of the history potentially of some of the areas, and just take in the sights, get a little exercise for about 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday morning. And we kind of put this off as far as doing it for a while. We actually did it back in November of 2019, so this was a little bit back. I was actually really glad that we ended up doing it, because it was definitely worthwhile. They had a vegetarian option, which worked out for me, and their site also offered the opportunity to sign up to get shirts, which I took advantage of. Now, the only thing about the shirts is they're a little small, and they only go up to a certain size, so I would have liked to have at least one size larger than this, but I was like, sure, I'll take it. Also, you get additional stuff from that as well, and so for basically about, I think at the time we went, it was about $45 a person, and that's getting to go sample like 5 different restaurants. And you get some stuff, and you get a little educational tour, and you get to walk around and all that. It's well worth it to me. But what I want to do right now is kind of take you on a little bit of a brief walkthrough of some of the things that happened on this particular tour, but they do evolve over time, which we are planning to do one maybe late in 2020 if we get the opportunity. Let's start off with the beginning. We went, and our meeting destination was at a place called My Boulage, which is a sort of Cajun French style restaurant in the Uptown area. And we met our tour guide there. We were actually the only ones on the tour that day, so it was actually kind of like a private tour, which was really nice. And our tour guide was Asher. This is the same guy who actually did the other two tours. So you can kind of get a bit from that if you check out the other two videos from the Haunted History and the Haunted Springer tours, which are already uploaded. But we went there, he talked about a few things. He gave us our swag, as it's called, which is the shirts, koozies, and these cups here from Columbus Eats Food Tours at columbuseatsfoodtours.com, which was nice. And I think a few other little things here and there. I can't remember exactly what all he gave us. Did some talking about some stuff. And then eventually we got to have our dishes. Now, all these dishes are vegetarian dishes, so if you get a non-vegetarian, a regular option, you're probably going to get some different meals than what I got. But here, take a look. On this dish is a very interesting breakfast dish because you get a sort of a salad type option here. It was fine. It was a salad. And then you see a little bit on the left there, you've got spinach quiche that we had. It was spinach mushroom, I think is what it was, if I remember correctly. That was very good. Wouldn't do the salad part again, obviously, for breakfast. The other two were very good, the quiche. From there, we left the place. Of course, had him talk about a few things, show us a few things. We eventually went into a place called Kilwin's. We got to sample a piece of their fudge. They sell various types of fudge, and they had the fudge that was on marble slab. And it was fine. I mean, I'm not crazy about chocolate fudge anyway. I mean, it's all good and whatnot, but we got to choose which one we wanted from the various ones, and it might have been a chocolate marshmallow one. I don't know. It was fine though. But then the next location is one that I've been to many times since then, which is the local Rocket Fizz. This is a wonderful place where it sells vintage drinks, candies that either you probably won't find anywhere else, or it'd be kind of hard to find it. We were actually able to get a selection of a drink for ourselves, and of course our tour guide also got one too. This was my selection. It was King Kong Cola. Of course I had to get something that had that on there. It pretty much just tasted like a Coke. Is pretty much all it tasted like. My sister, Scarlettpear, she got a Wizard of Oz Cherry Cola, which pretty much tasted like Cherry Coke. But there again, they were neat little things. And Rocket Fizz is quite a wonderful place. If you have a Rocket Fizz in your area, whether it's here in the city of Columbus or somewhere else, definitely check those places out. It's a really, really wonderful place to be able to pick up stuff to try. Then we went to a place called Mr. Ed's on Broadway. Now, Mr. Ed's on Broadway is actually closed now since this tour happened. And I'm not talking about because of the coronavirus. Prior to the coronavirus, it actually shut its doors. So this is actually the only time that I ever got to go in this place to eat. And we sat down, and there's our tour guide, Asher, and his strawberry cream that he got. We're sitting there waiting for the food to come, and the food actually was a spaghetti with a little bit of cheese and garlic bread, I guess. It wasn't very garlicky, but it was toasted and it was very good. I really liked that. But then again, it's spaghetti. You know, it's not something that's like overly impressive. I can get that at Fazoli's as well and be just as happy at Fazoli's too, eating that. It was still good. I enjoyed that. From Mr. Ed's on Broadway, though, we were taking a walk and doing a lot of traveling to different parts. And I took this picture here of the river, the Chattahoochee River, over here at the Riverwalk. I think we had had a lot of rain at that time, and so it was really high at the time. We were going to walk down, I think, towards a part closer in the river, but I think we were behind on time, so we couldn't do that part. But eventually we made our way to a smoothie store. I think it's called Ride On Smoothie next to Ride On Bikes. It is a place that does obviously health type stuff, and they have smoothies of healthy kinds, and they have other varieties as well. But all these little juices that he's got right there are different healthy smoothies, and he would basically take one of the bottles, pour a little shot in these little cups for us to try, and he would tell us, what this is supposed to be beneficial for and all that. So we tried every one of them, and that was definitely interesting. It was one of the most interesting parts to be able to try the different stuff and try to kind of figure out which one do we like best and whatnot. They were all fine, I think, for the most part. Some of them were kind of weirder than others, though. Then we were making our way towards more of the fountain area, and while we couldn't go into it, he went down to a place called Picasso's Pizza. Now, Picasso's Pizza was mentioned on my birthday episode because that was the place that I had went to on the last day of my birthday. The reason I wanted to go there was because of this. We went down there, and he went in and picked up the pizza, and he was walking back, of course, with it in his hands, and he had 2 slices of cheese pizza. Now, what I guess had happened was the crust was not included in that, because I noticed that it didn't look like it had much crust, but then, of course, there is a crust to it. But it was really good. I really liked it. That's why I wanted to try it again. It was one of my favorite things that I had, actually, on the whole tour, was that Picasso's Pizza. So I was really, actually, very impressed with that. From there, then, we made our way to Fountain City Coffee. Now, here's the issue with Fountain City Coffee. They're a perfectly fine place, especially if you like coffee. I don't. So they gave us a sort of iced coffee as a drink. Well, I took one sip of it just to see how it was. Didn't like it, obviously, so just kind of left that to the side. Didn't really make a fuss or anything like that. Just wasn't interested in that. And just took our sampling of our other food, which we had these 2 different types of muffins that were actually very good. One was a banana nut bread type of muffin. I forget what the other one was, but both were very good. I enjoyed both of those. Pretty busy. Of course, a lot of these places are pretty busy on a Saturday morning to afternoon. And then after that, we were done pretty much and went home and got to try on my shirt for the first time. And there you see me doing that. And that was pretty much the tour. There's a lot of stuff, obviously, that kind of missed out on with it. I hope if we do it again that I can actually do a more thorough video of it instead of just me talking about it. But that was kind of the idea of what we did, where we went, as far as the foods that we tried and some of the stuff that went on. He told some very interesting things, showed us some very interesting ways to go about through the area, and it was a fun experience. I think it was well worth the money that we spent on it, And we're definitely looking to do it again sometime in the future, hopefully. And I hope that when this is all said and done and they open back up, doing their tours again, that you too, if you're in the area, that you would consider having a tour one Saturday as well. That's all I have for now, and I will see you next time on Trojanpear's Food Club. Until then, I wish you blessings. Bye-bye.